Hello, mate. How's it going? Welcome back to the Three Hammers. It is 6:30 on Tuesday. Me and Paul were going to do a podcast yesterday, but it was my nephew's birthday, so why not do it now? Every day that goes by, there's more and more news on this, mate. I did literally a very, very quick video on it yesterday, just to give my quick reaction to it. As of Sunday sort of afternoon, the football world went crazy, didn't it? Just this European Super League was announced. More and more stuff has happened, since then. Chelsea have pulled out of their affiliation. I think Arsenal have as well, and a few other clubs. Premier Leagues have had meetings. Serie A's had meetings. UEFA have made announcements. Yeah, mate. Now, I know you were the one who actually called for this podcast more than me. You was like, mate, I think we need to do a podcast. And, usually it's hard for us to get the timings right. And you were the one like, mate, we need to do a show about this. And I think all football fans at the moment, mate, need to get together and, do as much as they can to, try and stop this travesty happening, mate. Go on, mate.
Well, there's the big thing, right? Come on to this in a little bit. But I think it's fair to say this is probably the biggest thing that's happened to football in our lifetime.
Yeah, the Premier League, we were too young, weren't we? Oh, thanks, mate. Is that a donation? I can't tell whether that's a donation or not. Yeah. I think that's obviously we weren't fully aware of the Premier League being invented, were we, mate, in 91? We was only like 6 years old. But this is just, biggest thing we've ever witnessed as football fans.
Yeah, definitely. And even, obviously it's been spoken about loads with the likes of the Premier League when the Premier League was formed. Obviously, like you say, we were like 6 years old when it happened, so can't really say much about what happened at the time. But it was still an open competition, and that's the big thing with this what set everything off, the fact that it's such a close competition. But yeah, like you say, mate, the news broke. Madness, absolute madness. Watching all the pundits at the time. Gary Neville obviously did a thing while he was at.
It broke it live, mate. It was actually during I don't know if he was watching the game.
I wasn't watching that game, no.
Yeah, it broke live during the game, and he literally couldn't concentrate on the game anymore. During commentary, him and Martin Tyler were just like, I can't really concentrate on this game anymore. My brain just all over the place.
And then obviously afterwards he did that video that has been shared around everywhere. Fantastic video. I have to say I really like Gary Neville as a pundit. Couldn't stand him as a player, but really liked him as a really like him as a pundit. And everything he said was bang on. And then literally, from I got up to go work. I got in the car to go work 6 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and I had TalkSport on. I'd never ever listened to TalkSport, but I had TalkSport on from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, just listening. I couldn't not, like, I was so invested in it. It's
like refreshing Twitter all day yesterday. Like I was meant to be like on an inset training day sort of thing, and it's just like I need to know what's going on. And then obviously you had Mourinho sacked as well. Rumours are that he refused to do training. We will never know properly until Mourinho probably talks in a few years' time about
apparently that has come out that was rubbish from a few different places. That's not true. He was sacked because of his performance, which is understandable. But yeah, the world just went mad, mate. The world of football, the world of sport, to the point of politicians getting involved. Prince William, obviously, is the head of the FA, getting involved. Madness, mate. Never seen anything like it. Obviously, everybody's on the same page. I think that's something that this is literally united everyone. I think that's another thing why this is so massive. I've never seen anything before where literally everyone is on the same page. I say literally everyone. I know there's a few stupid idiot plastic fans that are.
No, there's a few, mate. There's a guy I work with today, actually. He's a Tottenham fan. Was like, I was talking to him about it, and he was like, "Well, mate, I follow the badge. Wherever the badge goes, I will support the team."
Nah, he's not a real fan. He's not a real fan. If he was a real fan, he'd be against this. I said straight away, mate, as soon as this broke, the people I work with are Man United fans, they're Liverpool fans. Literally, as soon as this happened, if West Ham were one of those clubs, and there's no doubt that whatever statement we put out today, which was nonsense, I agree, mate. I know, by the way, if we had an invitation, mate, they would have bit their hand off.
Yeah,
they would have bit their hand off. And if we were a club involved in this, I'd walk away. I don't care. That'd be me done.
I agree with you. I agree with you because big account Spencer FC said exactly the same thing. He goes, I appreciate the statement that's been put out because it's good that clubs are showing this. But I'm telling you now, yeah, if they would have offered West Ham a piece of this pie, those guys would have took that hunt all day long.
Absolutely. But it really has united everyone. And to be fair, like I say, you have got a couple of idiots who are for this. They're not real fans. They're the definition of plastic fans, and that's exactly what this is catering for. It's catering for those plastic fans. It's catering for the Middle East. It's catering for China and the USA audience. But in general, everyone's on the same page. And it's fantastic to see. And I have to say, I feel sorry for the fans of the clubs that's involved in this.
Oh, no, yeah, mate, 100%.
I feel sorry for the fans. I feel sorry for the players. I feel sorry for the managers because it's not their fault. They didn't want this. They didn't ask for this. They weren't consulted about this.
By all counts, mate, it looks like the managers didn't know much about it.
Exactly.
Either,
yeah, it looks like nobody knew anything about it, mate.
Sort of didn't look like he knew. Pep was quite vocal today. The only manager who's been a bit of a puppet, in my opinion, has been Tuchel. I don't know if you see his press conference. He was a bit like, well, we'll do whatever the club means. Which
he sort of said, oh, well, we have to trust the club and that. It's difficult. It is difficult for the managers to come out and speak against it because they don't want to be in breach of contract and all the rest of it. They've got to be careful what they say. But yeah, I do. I feel bad for the clubs involved. I genuinely do. I feel bad for the clubs involved because this is all the work of the ownership.
Agreed, isn't it? Agreed. Just before me and Paul do carry on, guys, in the chat, get your opinions in. We do read out everything and get your little comments in and questions in, and we'll come back to that in about 5-10 minutes time. So those of you probably do know. So I'm just going to spout a little bit off. So it's like, so all the clubs that are in it are guaranteed more or less, like, it works out something like 200 million a year. That's without TV rights coming in. Yeah, they're saying with TV rights, you're probably guaranteed about 300 million pound a year. For 23 years, it works out about 3 billion these clubs will earn over a 23-year period. There's no relegation. And 5 teams will be invited pending their performance in the leagues of their own. PSG have rejected it so far, which is quite shocking. Bayern Munich, obviously 50% fan-owned, and Porto rejected it yesterday as well. It just... I hate the elitistness of it, mate. Is that, like, again? I know we hate Tottenham. It's a born right as a West Ham fan to hate Tottenham. But where do they get this elite in this? That we've been in the Champions League a few times and we got to the final, which we lost. We deserve to be on this top table. Where does that come from? Leicester won the league 3-4 years ago.
It's rubbish, mate. And obviously that's one of the things that has been rubbished about it. We've all seen the jokes. We've all seen the memes going around about Tottenham being involved and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's crazy. If you were actually going to take, if someone said to you, right, okay, the biggest teams in Europe are going to do a Super League. Oh, all right. Man United, Liverpool. Okay. Real Madrid, Barcelona. Okay. Juventus, the Milan clubs. Okay. You would need the Germans, you would need Bundesliga, you would need Bayern, you'd need Dortmund in there, obviously PSG now. But the likes of, like you say, Tottenham and Arsenal were a mid-table club.
Mate, Arsenal awful. Yes, they won the league and they've been, one of the greatest football teams that has ever graced the Premier League 20 years ago. But, do you know what I mean? It's like, do you want to go back to 97 and we put Blackburn in it? When Blackburn won the league?
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, 10 years ago, mate, Manchester City were irrelevant.
Yeah.
20 years ago, Chelsea were irrelevant. It's crazy. And I don't know. Again, this is a thing as well. The actual, obviously they announced that they'd signed up for this, right? The clubs released a joint statement announcing they'd signed up for this. Since then, apart from the Italian and Spanish clubs have started speaking, the 6 clubs that from England, nothing. As far as I'm aware, up to this point, they've said nothing.
Well, all they've done is release, like a statement on their website saying we are one of the.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they released that joint statement.
Yeah,
they released that joint statement. Since then, the other countries' clubs have started talking about it. We've heard nothing. There's been no It's really weird.
Do you think it's more than posturing though? Do you think like this is going to happen now?
Yesterday, all day yesterday, I would have said, yeah, this is going to happen. I think too much had happened. There'd been too much from both sides, from UEFA and from these clubs. Like I say, really from the Real Madrid president, he's really gone all in. The Italian clubs as well have really gone for this. They've really gone all in. There was like a court ruling in Madrid today that in Spain they can't stop these clubs from playing in the domestic league. That obviously is completely different to England.
Yeah, it's political.
But those seem to be going all in for it. I would say the American owners, your Fenway Group for Liverpool, the Glazers for Man United, they want this. But there's been such a like I say, universal backlash, absolute universal backlash, to the point where companies that people have been speculating might be broadcasting this, the likes of DAZN and Amazon, have both come out and distanced themselves from this.
Sky as well, is it? I did not know that.
DAZN have come out, they distanced themselves. They said, we've got nothing to do with this. We haven't been involved in negotiations. Amazon have come out and said the same thing. Sky have come out and said the same thing. All of these potential broadcast partners have started getting jittery.
Yeah, jittery, yeah.
And I don't know, mate. It's one of them things now where yesterday, if you'd have said to me, I would have said, yeah, 100%, this is going to happen. It's gone too far. It's going to happen. With the backlash from everybody, the broadcast partners, the managers, the players, I think they might try and pedal it back. I really do. But, or the clubs in England anyway. But the thing is, and you said this right at the top of the show, and all the talk today, like I say, listen to TalkSport today, all the talk today and from the government and from everything has been, how do we stop this from happening? No, I don't want to stop it from happening. Let them go. Send them off.
No, I agree.
Too late.
Their
cards are on the table. This is it. They've made their play. Done. Go. See you later. I don't want to stop it. I want them out.
Thank you, Mitch, for the comment. Just put anyone who has put a comment, we will put them up. But obviously, if you do donate and you're generous enough to donate into Super Chat, we will put it straight up.
And I will say as well, Mitchell, we did say, just in case anybody missed it, literally said this at the start. I feel bad for the clubs.
Oh yeah, the fans.
I feel bad for the fans, and I feel bad for the players and the managers, because it ain't their fault. It's not. They didn't ask for this. It is the owners. But still, my point stands. I don't want them to stop this from happening now. No. I think if this happens and they break away, a lot of people saying, oh, but it'll affect the income of the Premier League. We won't get as much money coming into the league. Won't be able to sign these players. So what? This is it. This could be the leveler. This could be how we get the game back, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think, if they do go, you might have a period of, like you say, mate, where the big players want to go and play there like they did in China for a little while. But I think inevitably, within about a 5 to 10 year period, like you say, mate, you could get the integrity of the game back. And it becomes that journey again. Like, again, I don't know whether you see it, mate, on Sky Sports, they'd spoken to a Tottenham board member, and the board member said, the Tottenham board knew there was going to be backlash from the fans. They was expecting that, but there's too much money on the table, and money is more important than the integrity of the game in this situation.
The thing is, if you look at a club, I don't know if you saw, mate, but I see a picture going around today, and it was the figures, all the clubs involved, how much debt they're in. And Tottenham have over £1 billion worth of debt. I think Real Madrid as well. Real Madrid and Barca are that sort of debt as well, mate. They're well up there. They're banging trouble. These clubs, with COVID and all the rest of it, for all of a sudden, for JP Morgan, for these Americans to come along and slap $3.5 billion on the table and go, you can get 250 million each just for signing up. These clubs need that revenue from a business perspective. I understand it. I understand why they've done it.
No, mate, 100%.
But it doesn't change how wrong it is. It doesn't change how disgusting it is. It doesn't, like, I was talking to one of my mates who's a Man United fan yesterday, and he was saying, oh, well, we need to see how it goes, and maybe they can play in both competitions. No, they can't.
Like, how can you have 300 million extra money to buy players? When West Ham are not accessing that, Leicester
it would literally kill the Premier League. And this is something I've seen today about the Premier League and the FA have started coming out now and saying, oh, it's not too late to change your mind and all the rest of it. It's not good enough. This would kill the Premier League. It will rip the art out of the Premier League if this was allowed to happen and they were allowed to stay in the league. Because not only do they have the extra finance, but they've got nothing. Those clubs have got nothing to play for. Because it doesn't matter if they finish second, third, fourth, 4th, 15th, 16th,
because they're not
17th.
going to go into the Champions League. They're not going to go into Europa League.
No, and they're guaranteed to be in this Super League, and there's no incentive for them to play anymore. It
becomes like a B team. Like Barcelona B team playing in the La Liga 2 sort of thing. It becomes like that for them.
It turned the league into a joke, mate. It turned it into a joke league, and again, if this was allowed to happen, and a lot of people saying, "Oh, we won't," the Premier League won't kick out these teams because they bring in too much money. That's true now, but if they were allowed to break off into a Super League and still be playing in the Premier League, who's going to want to pay to see Liverpool's B team or Arsenal's B team play against the other teams? No, that's not going to sell. It's still going to diminish the money.
A guy I work with is a Chelsea fan, and he said, he's so excited this year to be playing Real Madrid next week because they haven't played Real Madrid for about 18 years. And if you're playing them every year, it's just like you say, mate, the novelty will die eventually.
Yeah, of course, it will get stale. And
especially, mate, after about 10 games, for example, I don't know how many games there's going to be in the season, 20 games or whatever. Only one person can win that Super League a year. Like you say, there's no Europa League, there's no Champions League battles, there's not even a relegation battle. So after about 10 games, let's say Real Madrid are top. What then? The other games are meaningless. They're just money-making games.
Yeah, exactly. Meaningless, mate. It's completely meaningless. It's. I don't understand. And the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham are going into this European Super League, which is a joke. The name is a joke. Everything's a joke about it. But they're going into this. Let's say they have their. Let's say the integrity of the fans goes right, and a lot of the fans walk away, and they fill it up with plastic fans, and like I say, people from the Far East and people from America. Why would they want to watch a club that all of a sudden is going to be bottom of this league every year?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it, mate. That's a very good point as well. If you're like Tottenham, and I'm only saying this because I hate Tottenham, they get tonked every week, 4-0, 5-0. Like you say, a new fan coming through will see that and go, oh, they're always bottom of that European Super League. Like, do I really want to watch them? Like with basketball, I know you said the basketball's got their draft system and it's a little bit better over there. But even then, like the lower teams, like. Yeah.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's the thing. I know what you're saying. With the likes of that is the huge difference is the fact that they have that draft system. So, in the NBA, if you want to talk about, say, for example, the New York Knicks, obviously a massive name. Everyone knows the New York Knicks. For the last few years, they've been crap. They've been the worst team in the league. They've been absolutely shocking. But because of the draft system, they can pick the best players coming through. This season, there's a good chance they'll get in the playoffs. They're getting there. So it stops it from becoming too stale. It stops one club from dominating for too long. That sort of thing is impossible to do in European football. You can't. There can be no sort of draft system. It can't work like that. It's just I don't know. And again, we haven't really seen any plans. We haven't seen how they expected this to work, and I don't know how they expected it to work.
No, mate. Okay, moving on a little bit. What should be the punishment then, mate?
Well, like I say, if it was up to me, I would expel them from the league. I would say that's it. See you later. I don't think that will happen. I think there's potential of the Champions League thing on Friday. I see the thing is with UEFA is different. So for the Premier League don't want to kick these teams out. I think if the Super League goes ahead, they have to expel them. They have to kick them out for the integrity of the league. If it gets walked back and the thing collapses, let's assume that's what's going to happen, that the Super League doesn't go ahead, it collapses, or the English teams pull out, then there has to be sanctions, there has to be points deductions. How much, I don't know. There has to be fines. You know, I've seen a lot of people sat at the. I can't remember.
Or maybe like a transfer ban, but actually,
I can't remember what one of the clubs it was, but one of the clubs chairman came out today. That's really annoyed me. I can't remember what club it was.
Was it Parish?
No, it wasn't Parish. No, but he came out today and basically said that, you know, teams get deducted points for minor breaches. Teams get deducted points for, you know, for stealing players, for breaking financial fair play. This is an attack at the heart of the league. They need to come down on them hard.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a significant points reduction. Like you say, this is. They didn't want to leave the Premier League, right? So when this was announced, it was always going to be a replacement to the Champions League. They didn't want to leave the Premier League. So really, they're going to say, oh, well, we weren't attacking the Premier League. This was a direct shot at UEFA.
100%.
Direct shot at UEFA. I don't know how these teams can continue in UEFA competitions. Again, regardless of whether this goes ahead or not, I don't know how these teams can play in UEFA competitions. I don't know how they can finish the Champions League.
I don't know what happens with their, because you said, mate, about certain clubs leaving their affiliation.
Yeah, the European Club Association. Yeah.
Like, what actually is that? Like,
well, it's not like a governing body or anything. It's as far as I'm aware, it's the I'm trying to think of an equivalent for the English clubs, like for the like the LMA, League Managers Association, that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? For the top European clubs, like you say, it was Chelsea withdrew, Man United withdrew. You know, the Woodward resigned from his position at UEFA. The Italian, the Juventus chairman was the co-chairman. He's withdrew from his position to go and chair this new one. So all these have sort of pulled out. They've sort of pulled away. I don't know how they can carry on in a UEFA competition anymore. I really don't. Like even if this doesn't happen,
it looks a bit rosy for West Ham in the Champions League potentially next year. No,
to me, I don't know how we haven't. I think we have to just sort of qualify by default now. Like I say, I don't know. And the way that the UEFA,
I think they should be given a ban for bringing the game into disrepute, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
the way the UEFA chairman came out yesterday, guns blazing, he came out hard. And to be fair, he's walked it back a little bit today. He said, "Oh, you know, and I really hated hearing this. He said, everyone makes mistakes. You know, there's still time to fix it." He's obviously sort of calmed down. I think the man was probably incredibly angry yesterday. Unless, and this is what I'm saying, we've heard nothing from these 6 clubs yet. Unless these 6 clubs come out today or tomorrow and say something, they need to come out now and clarify their position. Are they going ahead with this, or are they changing their mind?
Yeah.
Either way, I can't see how they can carry on in UEFA competitions. I really can't. Can't. So, you know, everyone's seen the league tables. You know, you take those teams out of European competition next year.
West Ham at top of the league with 9 points.
We're there. We're in it, mate. It's us. It's us, Leicester, Leeds, and I think Everton, is it? Happy days, lads.
Last thing on it, mate. So if this does happen, like I say, mate, does the game survive, or does it sort of kill the game?
It depends, mate.
Podcast, you know, is the game dead as we know it?
If the Super League happens and the teams are allowed to remain in the Premier League, it's done. It's done. That cannot be allowed to happen. If this Super League goes ahead, these teams need to be removed from the Premier League because it will destroy the league. They need to be removed if this goes ahead. I think
it kills the dream, doesn't it? It kills the dream.
I think it will get walked back. If it does and it doesn't happen, there needs to be heavy sanctions. There needs to be big points deductions. Like I say, they need to be banned from European competition. I would say, and I think that probably would happen. I think UEFA will turn around and say, right, you can't play in European competitions for maybe 3 years or something. I don't know.
2 years.
But yeah, that's what needs to happen. And then as much as I think that and again, I want to say again, I feel bad for the clubs that this involves. I feel bad for the fans. I feel bad for the managers. I feel bad for the players. But this has done irreparable damage. It really has.
Yeah.
Those clubs, those 6 clubs, regardless of it being the owners who are to blame, and it is the owners who are to blame, there's no coming back from this. There ain't. They've done irreparable damage.
They've shown they've shown where their loyalties lie, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, and I don't like swearing on this channel, mate, but I do think the Premier League, the FA, UEFA, FIFA, for once, need to show some bollocks.
Of course they do.
And not be scared.
Yeah, you know? Of course they do. Of course they do. I think the Premier League and the FA are kind of waiting to see what UEFA do. It's good that FIFA actually came out and backed UEFA today. That was a good thing because FIFA were kind of on the fence before. A lot of people were saying, well, actually, it would do FIFA good to see UEFA get disrupted, but FIFA have come out and backed them. Everything that's happened, even if they want to push this through now, it's going to be incredibly difficult to do. I would love to go into the comments. I know there's...
Sorry, mate. If they do go as well, I say, yeah, go on, go. But you ain't buying no players from the Premier League. You ain't buying no players from La Liga.
Well, that's the thing. If they do go, then the FA and FIFA and UEFA do need to turn around and say, right, you can't play internationals.
Yeah.
That will stop a lot of it, mate. That will stop a lot of players. Like, you know, is Harry Kane going to... I know he probably wants to leave Tottenham anyway, but is Harry Kane, the England captain, going to want to not play for England anymore?
There are some rumours. One mate just texted me. Apparently Chelsea are pulling out of the Super League, so I don't know whether that's gone official. If any of you guys know that. There
were rumours all day today that 2 clubs...
I think Man City the other one. I think Man City will be the other one.
And apparently as well, I did hear that Levy was having second thoughts for Tottenham. But the 2 clubs that don't really need this are City and Chelsea. They don't need the money. They've got more money than anyone will ever need. They don't need it. It's the other clubs.
Arsenal, Tottenham, probably Man United need the money as well.
Well, yeah. And again, it's the owners behind Man United and Liverpool. It's the Americans that sort of borrowed money to buy the club and all the rest of it. But no, I would love to go into the comments, mate, because I know there's loads there.
Now, mate. Yeah, I've noticed we've been talking for 20 minutes, so it's the perfect time. I just want to say a big thank you as well. 50 people are watching. You know, we usually only get about 20 odd, but it's nice to have 50 people watching. And as promised, guys, we always go in and read every single comment, so we are going to do that now. So if you did put a comment in, we are going in from Andy Smith right at the top. Will the owners panic and try and sell our best players before the TV advertising money dries up? That's a great question.
I'll tell you what, and this is something as well that I was thinking about today. That is a good question.
It lowers the values of all the clubs at the minute. Apparently, Real Madrid and all that, and the stock market went boom yesterday. They boomed.
The clubs involved, their stock prices have gone up. Assuming this goes ahead and the Super League is now the elite competition, but it's a closed shop, that's going to lower the value of the likes of West Ham. You know, the amount of money that Sullivan is looking for, he's never going to get it if we can't ever be in that top competition.
If we can't Sky are not going to play the big boy money anymore. You know, it's down to it's something like 70% of their subscribers are Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. But you know, if they're not in it anymore, then obviously the subscriber cap will go down, won't it?
The thing is, they're not looking. If this happens, they'll probably end up creating their own streaming platform. Right, they'll have their own streaming platform. They'll make their own. They'll make their own money from it. That cuts Sky out. Sky are going to be terrified of this.
Oh, mate, yeah,
they're going to be terrified.
Again, this is where Sky need to show bollocks. If these teams are going to pull out, instead of going to the Premier League, you're not sticking loyal to your contract by not having Tottenham games, Man United games, Chelsea games, actually show some loyalty and go, actually, no. We'll keep the money with these boys here, the rest of the 14.
I agree, mate. I agree.
The Premier League for the money back. Actually back the Premier League.
I agree. And obviously, like you say, I'm sure subscribers will drop internationally. You know, the TV deals won't be as big. But this is what I was saying earlier. For me, I want this to happen because I feel like this can be a leveler. Yes, the money's going to go down, but then we can start getting a hold on players' wages. You know, we don't pay them as much then. You know, we can start getting control of the game again. And the thing is, yeah, you might say, oh, we're going to lose all these superstar teams. apart from the teams with actual history, you know, like Liverpool, Man United, you know, if you look at, like, say, your Tottenhams, your Arsenals, even your Manchester Cities, them clubs were nothing a few years ago.
And Chelsea, mate,
Chelsea as well. You know, it's marketing. Those clubs have been marketed into this position,
mate. Before 2003, Nottingham Forest were a bigger club than Chelsea.
Yeah,
and they weren't even in the same league.
They've been marketed into this position. All it would take is for Sky, and it's all Sky. We know how much Sky, you know, are up the arses of the so-called big six. If they changed it and started bigging up other clubs, you know, whacking my headphones out. I'm getting too excited. See, it's nice to have something to be passionate to talk about. I like shows like this. But, you know, if you look at the clubs that are left, you know, the likes of, you know, Leicester, like you say, won the league recently, West Ham, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Leeds, massive clubs.
Yeah,
massive clubs.
Massive club, yeah.
Massive. There's huge clubs left. If you look at the clubs, and I know in our chat, you know, I put in a thing, you know, yes, if we got into the Champions League next year, you're not going to be playing against Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, going. But there's huge clubs out there still. You know, you obviously Bayern Munich, Dortmund, PSG, but then you've got your Romas, your Lazios, your Ajax. You know, there's huge clubs out there.
Like that, yeah.
Huge clubs. Yeah.
Yeah. I've spoken to my Tottenham friends and they all hate it. We have given the owners too much power, venture capitalists that have protected their interest for years to come at the cost of everyone else, including the fans. I agree, mate, totally with that one. We are going to go through every comment, guys. It's the owners that run the game. They can do it without the fans and take football worldwide. Yeah, and I think maybe the COVID pandemic, mate, has proven that they 100%. Don't actually need fans, mate. They don't need fans.
That's exactly it, mate. And the problem is, and this is all catering to the international fans, I don't think it's sustainable long term. You know, their little Super League, I don't think it's sustainable if they do it. But that is the problem. You know, they don't care about the actual fans. They don't care. They don't care about the match game fans. If it happened, guarantee you any money you like, it wouldn't be long. Liverpool won't be playing Liverpool versus Real Madrid at Anfield or in Madrid. They'll be playing in Dubai. Yeah, they'll be playing in America. They'll be playing in Miami. They'll be playing in Dubai. They won't even be playing in their home grounds, mate. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, it is a joke, mate. That's how NFL's gone now, isn't it? They play games at Wembley and stuff. They will get away with. They will get away.
They'll get their way and be putting automatically every year in the Champions League. It's a play. I don't think it is, mate.
But did you not see that though, mate? With the UEFA, the Champions League reform. Elite clubs.
Well, that was done. That's been spoke about for a while, and that was done specifically to try and stop a breakaway from happening.
That's bollocks, though, as well, though, isn't it?
It is.
Elite clubs are
it is. The way that they worded it before was it was like a sort of backdoor. It only lasted for 2 years.
You're like a wild card.
Still, obviously, still against it. You know, still wrong. Still against it. But they did this reform specifically to try and stop the breakaway, and they went and did it anyway. I don't think they've done this. I've seen a lot of pundits and a lot of people saying they've done this to try and get more money or to try and negotiate more from the rights deals or whatever. I don't think that's the plan. I don't think that's the end game. They don't want more of the rights deal. They want their own rights deal. They want their own streaming platforms. They want all the money.
System,
they don't want a bit more of the money that's there. They want all the money themselves.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I think has caused this is the closed shop. They are scared of losing out. That's why your likes of your Arsenal, mid-table team now, you know, genuinely, Tottenham missing out. Looks like Liverpool, Chelsea could miss out on Champions League this year. They're terrified. They're terrified.
Mate, they're terrified. That's why I said it to in our chat earlier, mate. That's why the Newcastle takeover was rejected, mate. It's not about all this, whether he's a genuine guy or not. You know, he may have his problems, this guy, but they do not want a club like Newcastle having billions and billions and billions to spend. Then they miss out, mate. They don't want that. No. Leicester win the league. They want to make sure that Leicester never, ever have the chance to win the league again.
They hate it, mate.
Want that to happen again.
And that's why I don't think this is a power play. That's why I don't think it is. I think they genuinely want this. I think they genuinely want this. They want to take their money. They want to pull up the drawbridge. they don't want to be threatened.
Yeah, they're not bothered about trophies either. They're not bothered about winning anything. It's just a guarantee of 300 million a year.
They don't care about winning anything. This competition they're starting is meaningless. It's an absolute meaningless, friendly competition. They don't care about that. They don't care about the glory or the football side of things. Money.
Yeah. I would like to know what happens with the players that are playing for this so-called top six that don't want to be involved. Yeah. I assume as well that I don't know whether these contracts are like fine-tooth combs, these player contracts. Is there something in there that says, I'm representing Manchester United in the Premier League and I have a right to leave it? I don't know. That's a good question. But 5 teams they invite, will they be kicked out of any league they play in? That's again, a valid point, mate.
I would like to think, and the fact that it's been universally condemned. So obviously the Premier League, the remaining Premier League clubs met today. The remaining Italian clubs met yesterday. Universally condemned it. I would like to think any of these 5 teams that were invited would turn it down. They'd say no, because they've already said that. They've already said we don't agree with this. We don't.
Yeah, I think if you go and accept it now, you look a bit of a prat, don't you?
Yeah, it's a good question, but I can't see any other teams taking it up. I can't.
No. Funny how no German clubs are being involved because they're fan-owned. This is the start. Give it a year or 2 from the US. China will be part of it. The fundamentals of football is gone. Next 3 30-minute sides coming up. More money in that. It's the Americans. Yeah, it'll probably be played in quarters and stuff. Monaco.
Get the breaks in, mate.
Yeah, when the corners are happening. The players need to stand and refuse to play money talk. Apparently, Jordan Henderson's organised a meeting with all the captains of the clubs again. So that'll be interesting to see what sort of statements released from that. But it does seem like the players are, totally against it. A lot of fans at Stamford Bridge tonight. Good work, lads. Kent Hammer, obviously, one of the older time fans, fuming and hurting. The arrogance of these clubs is unbelievable. They're worried because us, the Foxes and Everton, are all fighting for a top 4, and only 2 of the teams are in the top 4 now. Chuck them out. I agree with you, mate, wholeheartedly. Years ago, when people walked out of the collective to better themselves at the expense of the collective, they were called scabs, and that's what the owners of the ESL formative teams are. 100%, mate. Loads of this. Chelsea fans protesting outside Stamford Bridge, so maybe it is true, that they have bottled it and they're coming out. When a joint statement signed by the owner of Manchester United is on the Man City website, something is wrong. Rivalry, they're in bed together.
Oh, mate, the owners of these clubs don't care about rivalries.
No way.
They don't care.
Yeah. No, because they're not fans.
Of course they're not.
They're not fans. I believe in my own mind the English clubs got duped by the other 6 clubs, all in trouble. Most of them are in 3 billion in debt. They are jealous of the Premier League money. They want a slice of the pie.
I don't know about that, mate, because it sounds like Manchester United were one of the main clubs pushing this. So I don't know about that.
Well, apparently the Liverpool owners, are quoted as saying that they don't know why relegation even exists.
Yeah.
That is one of the first things they've said. Like they can't fathom it. Well, 1 minute, I'm getting more text now. Chelsea have apparently pulled out. So that is breaking news. Apparently,
interesting. And I want to say now as well,
it should still get punished.
It's great that they've pulled out. I can see this being a snowball effect now. This is going to collapse. It will. This will collapse now. They'll pull out. City will probably pull out. It will collapse. But like you say, mate, they should not get away with this. They still need to be punished. There still needs to be points deductions. I'm not just saying that because obviously without West Ham, that they can't get away with this. They can't.
No. Just before we go back in the comments, I just want to put it up there. So if anyone's not following it, it says there that Chelsea preparing to withdraw from proposed competition. Chelsea are preparing documentation to request a withdrawal from the European Super League. More to follow. So that is obviously on the BBC page now. More to come on that one, mate. Big Six fans need apology for their part in celebrating the money in their clubs. Big Six clubs held all others down bought titles, cups. Big Six fans went along with it. Yeah, no, I agree. And we would have went along with it as well. Let's be fair. If a Saudi owner would have come in for us, before Sullivan and Gold, and they went, okay, you can have this player, this player, this player, and we would have been the new Man City, we would have all been sitting there enjoying it as well. But I'm not saying I would have wanted us to join this, though. I still wouldn't have wanted that. Barcelona couldn't pay their players a little time ago. It don't help when you're paying Lionel Messi £2 million a week. They will make their own streaming, and other broadcasts will change their tone and chase the money. That's the easiest way to do it. Let the teams take their own broadcast rights. Again, there will be slight advantages to Liverpool's and Manchester United, who have loads of fans across the world. But I assume that's the only fair way of doing it, no?
It is, yeah. And I'm pretty sure we actually spoke about this a few months ago on the podcast, mate, about that. And in principle, I won't be against it. Against these clubs taking their own streaming rights, taking their own broadcasting rights. But there would still, there would still need to be a kick down. There would still need to be rules to say, okay, you can take your own rights, you can settle your own rights, but that you need to give a percentage divvied out to the rest of the league and throughout the pyramid. Because otherwise, because it would strangle the league still. Because if you took their rights out, again, it's the same problem. Sky are not going to pay as much for the TV rights because they won't have the rights to the so-called big clubs. And you're in the same problem.
What you would have to do is potentially... so say, for example, Manchester United would have an extra 50 million worth of subscriber money. Maybe you'd have to put a transfer cap that you can only spend 50% of your Netflix income, for example. So that they can only use a certain amount of that money for transfers to rebuild their squad.
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
It's a difficult one because then from that, say for example, Man United flicks, all of a sudden the sponsors will want to be involved in Man United flicks, and then they can earn more money that way. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. In relation to players, there are serious breach of their employment contracts. Hence, this would mean players would have the right to leave on a free day. Yeah, I thought that as well. I'm standing with the Big Six fans for football, but they are in no way innocent. Mitchell, will you be giving up your season ticket, mate? Good question. But it's just true fans that will suffer. I feel sorry for fans, players, and management. This is all down to the owners. Some great comments in here, guys. Thank you so much. That's why we're, appreciating it by reading them all out. Steve agrees with you, mate. Hammer Rocky. Can't believe that Barcelona, as an example, have paid the likes of Messi too much money to keep him. Now they are pleading poverty and want the money. Complete muppets. Yeah, listen, and it's not Messi's fault either. Messi he's best player in the world with Ronaldo, and they can dictate what they get paid. But Barcelona don't have to pay him that.
No, and I think the problem is and this is the issue, and this is what I was saying about why they want to close shop. It was a gamble that hasn't paid off. Barcelona are struggling this year. Juventus look like they won't even make the Champions League this year.
Yeah, mate.
If it carried on, these teams are struggling.
Yeah, I believe Dortmund are not going to make the Champions League as well, mate. I believe Dortmund are not there.
So they've put all this money in, and then all of a sudden, if they lose out on that much revenue, they're bang in trouble. It's not sustainable, and that's why they want this so bad.
Gary Mitchell did answer your question. He said, "I won't be going until it is sorted."
Good man.
They have to kick them out of the Premier League, but I believe they won't. Well, obviously, Chelsea are withdrawn. I still think, and again, I know I'm not just saying it because of West Ham benefit from it. I think there should still be a retrospective punishment for bringing the game into disrepute.
Definitely.
Of transfer ban.
There needs to be point deductions, fines.
Or some sort of point deduction, yeah.
Yeah, no, there definitely needs to be, mate. I saw a really good analogy. Someone was talking about this on These At Mother Brown, and they said it'd be like if you were part of a gang and you all decided to rob a bank, and then halfway through the robbery you went, "Oh, hang on a minute, this don't look too good. I'm going home." You'd still get arrested.
No,
you know what I mean?
Still an accessory, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they should just go. If it goes wrong, I will be angry if they are allowed to come back. Yeah, and if they are allowed to come back, they should be starting in Division 5. Massive demonstrations are going on at Stamford Bridge now, so obviously that's why they've bottled it. Money destroyed the game. Lower standard. Have you seen where some of those 6 clubs are in the league, mate? 100%, mate. Like you say, Arsenal are a mid-table team now. And you have people like DT on Arsenal Fan TV going, oh, I don't know why the West Ham fans have all of a sudden piped up because they've had one good season. Mate, you're called for Arsene Wenger to leave, and your club's been mediocrity forever, and all you ever do is slag off your owners, and now all of a sudden you can't take it that we're with you, really. We're with you on it. Sorry, it will take a brave club to be invited and say, no, that guaranteed income. The rich are about to get richer and the rest poorer.
I think I think it was Porto came out and said they were invited and declined.
Yeah, and obviously Bayern didn't they?
Obviously, the German clubs is a little bit different because they are 51% fan-owned, so they can't really do it without that anyway. Yeah. And then PSG obviously turned it down, but PSG don't need the money.
I'm going to put the next 5 up, mate. Do you mind reading them? Because my throat's going dry. Reading that, yeah.
Yes, Ken. I think if they go and Championship team come into the league, it'll be a great Premier League, very competitive. I agree, mate. I'd love to see it. I would, like I say, I said right from the top, I would love to see these teams. Let them go. See you later. Ta-da, see you later. There's still massive clubs in the Premier League. There's still massive clubs in the Championship.
The Championship is the second most watched league in the world, I think.
Yeah.
Second or third most watched. That says a lot.
I said, mate, I think this could be a leveler. I think it could be the reset we need. I think we could get the game back. Everyone keeps saying, oh, the game's gone. This could have been the chance to get the game back. From the sounds of things, if Chelsea are pulling out, it's going to collapse. Yeah. So, it's a shame, I think, because that's kind of gone. But I would have loved to have seen that, mate. Get the Championship teams up there. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen it.
So that's what's going on there. Protest at Chelsea. Yeah. Well, the protests seem massive, certainly do. Agreed with Ken. I'm just going to rush through these a little bit. If they are restructuring with a drop in finance, let's look at the entire pyramid, split the reduced TV revenue down the leagues and end the threat of teams going bust. Yeah. What about teams like, again, points were made, mate, on TalkSport. Teams like Bury, went out of business, and a couple of other teams, they ain't got the option to go, oh, we'll join the Super League for 300 million.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. We all want to see Fury Joshua, but we don't want to watch it week in, week out. Yeah.
Yeah, good point, mate. Exactly.
Yeah. It would also see the new top 6 formed on a coaching and additional prize money rather than unfair financing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen it, mate. Like I say, I would have loved to have seen it. I would have loved to have seen them bring in a wage cap, bring in a transfer cap and, get the game back. But looks like it's not going to happen.
Yeah. If they do this and are kicked out, the Premier League could be better without. Now, I think that's quite a universal, mate. I think a lot of people are singing from the same hymn sheet, mate. United and we can destroy these owners. At least it will give Tottenham lots of time to give their trophy cabinet a few coats of paint. ESL would end up like the Harlem Globetrotters, just travelling around as a roadshow who don't play. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. 100% agree. Up to nearly 60 people watching live now. Fantastic, guys. Yes, Paul, kick them out.
That's Pete, it. Come on.
Yes, Paul and Luke talking real. I don't even think we'll get onto the preview. We might have to do another show weekend, but we'll probably just talk about this now for the next sort of 10 minutes. They will backtrack. They will never get a fan in the stadium again if they get us expelled. They are custodians sitting on 125 years history. They need punishing. 100%, mate. 100%. The thing is as well, like these clubs, like I say with Forest and things like that, the whole point is these clubs have these good moments, then it goes bad, and then you rebuild that dream, of getting back. West Ham were a magnificent team in the 60s. We had an okay team in the 80s, and it looks like we're just getting back to that sort of goodness again. If you take all that away, then it's pointless, isn't it? Newcastle were a great team in the 90s. Arsenal were a great team in the early 2000s. Man United haven't really done anything since Fergie left. And look how long Liverpool, how much did that title mean to Liverpool after a 30-year wait? That is football. That is what football is all about. And if you take that away, it's pointless.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Arsenal relegated. They can't get relegated. They're safe in this league. Arsenal have not got any Champions League for years. Strange invitational decision. It's just because they're one of the sexy names, mate. Yes, Gaza agreed. I think docking points will be fair, maybe 30 points.
I can't see it. I don't think they'll do that. Oh, I think they need to dock points. If this collapses, there needs to be points docked. There needs to be. I don't think they'll do 30. I would love to see it. I don't think the Premier League would do that. I think they'd be too scared.
Club says not fair to deduct points. No, demote them from the Premier League. Do what they
That's
did.
Not really fair on the Championship, then, is it?
Yeah. It's also discussing how they have used the pandemic to their advantage. Break the news with no fans in the ground, no chance of games going ahead with fans in the stadium.
Well, it looks like from what we've seen today with Chelsea's protests, maybe the fans are doing it anyway.
Yeah. If they have signed a major finance deal with Morgan Stanley Bank and then tried to cancel it, their lawyers would have field day. Yeah, if
it's very interesting. It'd be interesting to see.
Mate, yeah.
Obviously, the BBC thing you pulled up there was that Chelsea are. What did it say? It says Chelsea are preparing documentation
to be released.
Preparing documentation to basically to ask to withdraw. So what happens if, like you say, JP Morgan turn around and say, nah.
Or if they actually go, oh, do you know what? You know that 120 million that you were guaranteed for joining it? Actually, you need to pay 50% of that back to us, or something like that. Maybe. Interesting. I think that's why this has been rushed through, Andy. Snowman. I mean, it doesn't go ahead. They need to be docked points. Yeah, even if it doesn't go ahead, I think they should be deducted points.
Absolutely.
Chelsea putting out the ESL news just in. Yeah, we've seen that breaking. Here's one from Mark Brown. Have today's owners done more damage to their clubs than yesterday's football hooligans ever? Oh, yeah, mate.
Definitely.
Huge.
Definitely. That's what I mean. So even now, Chelsea pulling out, the damage is done. It's too late. Too late. The damage is done. You can't say, oh yeah, we'll have some of your money. We'll have some of this. We'll take a big slice of the pie. We'll crap all over the league. We'll fly in the face of UEFA. You can't do that and then go, people don't really like this.
Yeah, I don't fancy this. Yeah.
Oh, no. People are getting a bit angry with us. Oh no. Oh, we changed our mind. No.
Barbershop loves a bit of Luke and Paul. Big up. I think Paul did himself, mate.
Hey, listen, mate. I can't be bothered to wait anymore. I'm in Northern Ireland, and it's going to be ages
still. Still closed, didn't you?
They're all still closed, mate. So I couldn't be bothered to wait. I just got the razor out.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if they invite West Ham and Leicester if Chelsea and City pull out. Still deduct points for signing the agreement. Yeah, again, seems to be quite useful. I've got to just skip through a little bit because there's quite a lot of people saying about the Chelsea stuff. Paul is breaking my heart wanting us out. You'd think there are other ways to punish the owners.
I'm sorry, mate, but like I say, cards on the table.
No, but it needs to be a stand made. Again, it's nothing against you as a Liverpool fan, mate, or any of the fans.
And again, I
make a stand so they never do it again.
Yeah, I said from the top. I genuinely feel bad for the fans. I feel bad for the clubs. All the staff, the managers, the players, all the people behind the scenes, the tea lady that's been at the club for 30 years. I feel bad for these people because it ain't their fault. It's the owner's fault. I feel bad. The reason why I'm so for allowing this to happen and kicking them out of the league is because I genuinely think this is a chance to get the game back. I really do. That's why. That's why. It's nothing against these clubs, apart from maybe Tottenham. Get Tottenham out of the league. I don't care about them.
I don't really like Arsenal either.
That's what it's about for me.
Right, we're going to go. We'll go up to maybe 50, 55 minutes. So I'm going to rush through that. I've just pushed up. Chelsea are backing out. I'll put it up because Irish Tommy. I like Irish Tommy. He's a good lad. I had a dream last night. The Spurs were invited into the Super League. Luckily, it was a dream, right? Chelsea, we have an effect. 1-0 to the fans. Come on. Would you sign Urinator? Wait, is that a joke one? Urinator. I think I've been done there, haven't I? All the players from the Big Six clubs should hand in transfer requests en masse. The owners would shit themselves. Sorry for swearing. Look, now, do you know what? Today's show, I'm allowing it because it's quite a passionate topic today. You know what I mean? I've only ever seen Paul really swear once on his channel, and that was when it was going at Karen Brady, where he proper went at her about 2-3 years ago.
She was our representative at the meeting today.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
I'm going to be started on her again.
Big Six club players have contracts under UEFA, and foreign players are granted work visas to play an authorised club. Governments can play hardball and revoke the permits.
My cat's getting involved again.
Thanks, Mitch. Yeah, guys, if you are watching live, it'd be lovely to get up to 50, 60 likes for a video. That'd be amazing if you could all go and like the video. Just heard from Sky that Chelsea are pulling out. Just skipping ahead because a lot of people are saying the same sort of things. Yeah, not that I'm giving any comments dismissive, guys. It's just that I'm don't want to keep repeating myself. Florentino Perez's statement about saving football is the funniest thing I've seen since Chemical Ally insisting Iraq winning the war in America. Yeah, I agree, mate. It was disgraceful. It was disgraceful. So
I think this is. I think that's going to be. I think this is a problem, right? Because, like I say, it seems like if teams start pulling out of this, it will collapse. The problem is, like I say, I think the Spanish and Italian clubs are proper invested in this, especially the Spanish clubs and like Real Madrid, Juventus. They're really invested in this because they're desperate for the money. I really can see the Americans in the Premier League, you know, the Glazers and Fenway. I can see them really pushing for this still because this is what they want. I don't know.
I don't think it's the end of it, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see what happens.
There's a rule that states that 25 points is the minimum to be done. But let's see if they've got the bollocks to do it, mate. That again, it's
they need to do it. They need to do it.
They need to get a president now.
Yeah.
Right, getting to the end of the comments now. City are being reported as out of the ESL 2. See, it's all falling to pieces now. Oh, and
those were the two.
Thank you very much, Andy. Mate. Really appreciate that, mate.
Those were the two originally that apparently were the most hesitant to join Chelsea and City. If they had any sense, they would have backed out and they would have held off. But really, they could have waited and seen what happened.
Apparently, City
Atletico as well.
Atletico have pulled out now. There you go. It's all falling.
Do you know what? I don't know if you heard this as well, but on TalkSport today, they had their Spanish correspondent was on, and he was saying that Atletico are a serious blue collar, club, working man's club. Yeah, and he was saying there'd be absolute riots about this. So, it's good to see the fans getting. It's good to see the fans winning. I'll tell you what. Just to say, to Mitch about, me wanting Liverpool out the league and all the rest of it. If this doesn't go ahead, there needs to be sanctions. There needs to be points deductions. There needs to be fines. And I'll tell you what needs to happen above all else. The owners of these clubs need to be forced out.
Yeah.
The owners of these clubs need to be forced out.
And there needs to be an apology to the fans, mate. I'd love to see a direct apology.
An apology is not enough, mate. They need to go. The fans of these clubs need to mobilise and they need to get these guys out of their clubs. That's what they need to do.
Yeah. Got a fan here for you, mate. I hope ESL launches because we'll get more of Paul's rants.
I should do more videos. I know.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, definitely. I bet Levy and Sullivan are having a secret meeting, swapping places now because it's going tits up. Perez desperate for money. All these teams are one of the biggest in debts, and that's their own fault for ridiculous player wages and transfer fees. Now liquidate Real Madrid. There we go. I've got my way through most of the comments there, guys.
Thank you for all the comments, guys.
So much, guys. Honestly, this has been one of the best and most, poignant shows that we've had to make. Listen, there's been no talk about West Ham today. This has not been a West Ham podcast. This is a football podcast today. Me and Paul will do, a little preview for Chelsea as and when, probably Saturday morning, some sort of time before the game. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the show, guys, because, I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been a needed podcast. All the West Ham channels done one, Redmen TV, Newcastle, all the channels, TalkSport, everything, major channels, little channels. We all have to get together, to end this, and hopefully it looks like it's going that way now. It looks like fan pressure and united together, we've stopped it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just to echo Luke, thank you very much. All the comments, fantastic. All the views, brilliant to see. And like I say, I said right at the start, if anyone wasn't here, genuinely, this is the biggest thing that's happened in football in my lifetime, you know, mine and Luke's lifetime. It's massive, and it's so good to see all of the fans unite behind this. It really is. It's amazing to see all of the fans, like I say, universally, apart from a couple of real idiot plastic fans, all of the fans uniting behind this is brilliant. It's brilliant to see, you know, it really is brilliant.
Yeah. Guys, just last request from me and Paul. If you are here live in the chat now, hit that like button for us, guys. You know, it does us wonders, and you know, really appreciate it. If you are watching this back, you know, and you haven't been able to catch it live, you know, leave all your comments in, and you know, comment along with it. Tell us what you think about this Europa Super League. Obviously, news broke live that Chelsea have pulled out and Man City look like they're pulling out as well. Yeah, we'll leave it there, guys.
Just to say as well, mate, just because I just see a comment from Duncan there, missed a little bit. Don't forget, guys, yes, we do this live, but these are uploaded onto the channel as well.
Straight away. They go live straight away onto YouTube.
Yeah, so they're up on the channel as well. So if you have missed anything, if you did miss the start, you know, you can go back and watch it.
And on Twitter, if you're not, you know, if you don't really go on YouTube, on Twitter, this is being streamed live on Twitter as well. You can just go on our Twitter page and watch it back there as well. Anyway, guys, until next time, a massive thank you to anyone who's joined us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I've enjoyed making it. Yeah, until next time, guys, as we go, come on, you irons, keep believing. Let's go.